It's 7 o'clock. It's Thursday night. I'm Mac James, stand-up comic, and it's time for Stand Up for News. All right, welcome back, nation, to another amazing and adventurous episode of Stand Up for News. We are stand-up comics, and we tell the news. Because the news can't just stand up for its own self, because it was born without any legs, and it's in a wheelchair all the time. So we stand up for the news here on Tan Talk Radio on WTAN. Here is my co-host. She's a stand-up comedian, very funny young lady. Robin Savage, say hello.
Hello, everyone out there in listener land. It's awesome to be back here again on a Thursday.
All right, and Nation, my other co-host over here, a very funny guy, stand-up comedian, Captain Jim Marvin, say hello.
Ahoy out there on the ocean waves and the airwaves.
And my other co-host is back in studio this week. He was gone last week. Say hello, stand-up comedian, or say anything besides hello, because you never say hello. Say hello, Manny Avila.
My name's Emmanuel Vila. I've been sober for 21 days now, and it's good to be back, guys. It's good to be back.
Congratulations.
Define sober.
We have a guest stand-up comedian in the studio with us today. Say hello, stand-up comedian Anthony Rowan.
How's everybody doing this evening? Thank you. Wow, look at that.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be on here with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Did I say your last name right? Is it Rowan or
Rowan?
Rowan?
You're actually Rowan. You're one of the first people to ever just say my name right out the gate.
It's Rowan.
I've been saying Elizabeth the whole time.
It's 2024. Don't make judgments, bro.
So, welcome to the show. Here on Stand Up for News, we ask our guests if they like to write, to come on the show. If they don't like to write, we don't invite them to write some news to stand up for. Did you bring some news to stand up for?
I absolutely brought news to stand up for.
Oh, good, because the news is born without any legs, And so we stand up for the news here. You guys can call in if you want at 727-441-3000. And we can talk about the news with you guys if you want. Hey, Shane Selfie's out there watching. So we like to give a short interview first. So Anthony, when did you start stand-up comedy? How long ago has it been?
May of last year.
Welcome. Awesome. And you've been doing shows. You've been booked for features and stuff.
Yep.
Awesome. And where's your favorite place to do stand-up comedy?
My favorite place, and this is going to sound like super like stereotypical. I feel like this is what every comedian it was doing the main room at Side Splitters in Tampa.
That's where I started. That's one of my favorite spots. So I put most of my minutes in at Coconuts, which is now Sunshine. So that's my favorite spot. Where was your very first set, and how did it go?
Shout out to Stefano, Ordinance 1. That was my very first set.
Listening.
I went in there because at the time I had a pretty big TikTok following. I was over 200,000 before my account got deleted.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And I was doing a lot of not stand-up, kind of like sketch comedy stuff and men's mental health advocacy content. And I had a sponsorship deal with a company called Hard AF Seltzer Company. Uh-huh. And they just got into the state of Florida at the time, and Ordinance 1 was the only place to have it.
Oh.
And after dinner one night, my girlfriend and I went up to Ordinance 1 because we found out it was there.
Uh-huh.
And Stefano asked me if I wanted to do a set. I had nothing prepared. And my girlfriend, Kelly, shout out, I love you, told me that if I didn't go on stage that night, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
Nice.
And she broke up with you shortly after.
Yeah. She gave me, a heartbreak and comedy. We're still together, but I ended up doing 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
And it was the most nerve-wracking 2.5 minutes of my life. I got laughs. And when I jumped off stage, that was the best high I've ever had in my life. So I was hooked.
2.5 minutes. That's actually a lot longer than Jim's sex life.
And it
also comes with laughs.
Now, did you have anybody dancing all on the street behind you or otherwise, heckling or exposing themselves? That seems to be a regular feature for us.
This was pre-Man of Medicine.
Nice. So, okay. Anybody who would like to ask, go ahead, Robin, you go first and ask our guest a question. You prepared?
You have an absolutely great voice. Does that come in handy doing comedy, or have you done any other radio work with it?
He's not a prostitute, Mom. What are you talking about handy for?
You've done any phone sex?
So, Matt, what are you having tonight?
I've never done anything radio related or anything like that. I was a bouncer for like 17 years. So, I mean, having a voice like this, being able to, speak clearly and project loudly is very beneficial in a loud bar setting.
I think I'd be more afraid of your body than it would be of your voice.
If you talk like this, Jim, would you still be scared?
Very scared.
Even more so. Manny, what do you think?
I'm just curious, what got you canceled on TikTok? I know TikTok's like kind of weird like that. You can get banned for anything.
I had like a lot of strikes against me because of my ability to be very outspoken about what I believe personally.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I went after a hive mind of Republicans on TikTok, and which, I lean independent right.
Mm-hmm.
So for this side to come after me, I called them out for bullying people after I did an episode of a podcast about mental health with this particular creator.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they started bullying people for things that were out of their control, appearance, disabilities, mental issues.
Right.
And I called them out on it in the most abrasive way possible. And they had mass reported my account and got me taken off.
Which is the thing that happens on TikTok.
Unfortunately, the thing I was warning them against, unfortunately ended up happening to a young lady later in the week. She ended up taking her life because of their comments. So that guy's a real scumbag. But
did you end up were you able to rebuild any of the audience or anything like that? Or
I'm currently, so for a while there, I'm not gonna lie, I was petty about it, and I was in my feelings about getting my account deleted. I just recently restarted my TikTok. It's the Grizzly Villain Lives now.
Okay.
And it's going somewhere. I got like close to 700 followers again. And
there we
But
go.
the algorithm has changed so much from what TikTok was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's like they're not even.
Remember
trying
when
to get any?
Remember when you got us kicked off at my TikTok?
Oh yeah. What did I say? What was it?
Okay, Manny said we were doing a little pre-show thing. Manny said, "Hey, I want anybody that can guess my ethnicity, then they win a prize or something." And then someone commented, "You're probably Hispanic." And he's like, "Yeah, that's like calling Jackie Chan Asian. Come on, what's wrong? Obviously, I'm Hispanic."
Cheating.
So then they kicked us off.
They didn't know Spanish is a spectrum. That's like all.
Is Jackie Chan not Asian?
Very Spanish.
Manny Avila is pretty much a Spanish name.
Was that you, Robin?
You're Irish, right?
Jackie Avila?
Jackie Avila.
What's going on with this stuff? Okay, Jim, go ahead and ask our guest a question you prepared.
Yeah, what are some of the influences that led you into comedy? You said sketch. I mean, are there any particular comedians, writers, actors you've liked?
so credit has to go to my grandfather first and foremost.
Hey.
Because of him, I saw Eddie Murphy's Raw at way too young of an age.
How old were you? Like 11?
Probably like 6 or 7.
Oh, all right. I saw it when I was like 11.
And then from there, George Carlin, growing up, definitely middle school, teen years, it was Joe Rogan and Artie Lang. And before I got into stand-up comedy, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and Shane Gillis. And now it's like weird because the reason why I was saying Side Splitters main room is so near and dear to me. You walk in, Side Splitters.
Yeah.
You walk in there, there's a wall of all the comics that have done it. And I saw the picture of like Ron White and Bert Kreischer up on that stage. And last minute, they announced that we'd sold so many tickets for the open mic that they were moving it to the main room. And it was so surreal, like being in this big room with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They call your name, you go up on stage, you have a theme music playing, which when you're in the open mic scene a comedy, that's very far and few from in between.
They always play my least favorite band for me. I think they did on purpose after the first time. I love the big room. No, it's a Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of Pearl Jam myself. But then, like, I'm up on stage trying not to get emotional through my set. And I ended up doing great, jumped off. Ended up talking to the owner of Side Splitters. That's what got me put on the Florida Man competition.
Oh, wow.
Was my set there. I actually applied for it, got rejected. And then he saw my set and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to put you on this." So
Sweet, man.
Nice.
My schedule conflicts with me ever working at clubs, but I appreciate the hustle that people put in, to actually get on those main stages, get booked at comedy clubs. The only one I've been able to get booked at and work at was Coconuts and Sunshine afterwards, because my schedule conflicts. I'm a bartender where I work at I make a lot more money than what BT's going to give me. Just saying.
He's a phone sex operator. It gets the conflict.
Yeah, so we have phone sex at Dade and Buster's.
I'm a bartender. Calls at night. I get it.
Press 1 for Dave, press 2 for Buster.
I am. Rest in peace. They've both passed away. Buster died on my birthday last year. Yeah, bartend there now. So we're going to be doing shows there. They're our new sponsor.
Nice.
So they're going to be letting me do. They came to me and asked me to do some open mic stuff there. First, they said, do whatever you want. I said, let's start with baby steps. I'll bring a crowd in with open mic. Later, we'll do showcases once I show you what we can do. So the first 2 lists for the week 1 and 2, we got 5 weeks. We got 5 Mondays to do shows. I said, we'll start with 1 month in April. I didn't realize there were 5 Mondays. So we got 5 shows. The first 2 weeks are filled up. There's $150 for the best set. I call it the best set comedy mic because some comics don't like competitions. It's not a competition. You show up, you do your set. The best one gets $150. The second and third best, they get a prize too. The managers are deciding what it's going to be. Probably some game cards.
You get 10 free minutes with Dave and Buster on the hotline.
They have both passed away. Let's be respectful to my company.
Be a real company man.
So I'm going to be respectful, but I have to ask what the
my company has this guy that's making fun of him host the first one, you know. So let's have some respect.
With the phone sex with Dave and Buster, is Dave more like the boyfriend type, and then Buster's more like the BDSM route?
Oh, yeah, who's the top and who's the bottom?
One's more of a ball buster.
Pretty soon we'll have a phone call from Chris going, "This is the ghost of Dave." Dude, he called in once being a ghost of the guy who used to work with Kenny.
The hotel room chair was for me.
He said, "Quit calling me racist on the radio." I'm from a different area. I was like, the line is, "I'm from a different era," Chris. He said it so wrong.
A different area, but a different era.
Well, let's wrap up the interview. If anybody wants to ask one more question, say it quick. All right, well, let's get into standing up for the news, man. It quick. We're going to start with current news. I'm going to start out here with a story. In Babylon, New York, you guys, 4 people, homeless people, were arrested for concealing a human corpse and tampering with the evidence. The 2 victims, they were also homeless people. They were the tampering was the other homeless people. The other 4 chopped up their body parts and scattered them around the park, so they didn't have to deal with the authorities taking care of them. So they're not being charged, apparently, with the death of the 2 bodies that were found in pieces spread around the area. When a 10-year-old little girl found an arm and reported it to, I wrote this on an envelope, to the authorities, you guys. Yeah. So all 4 being charged, and then the 2 dead that were homeless. Yeah. So one of the women that is being charged says she looks forward to defending herself in court by herself. I was like, you got to be pulling my leg. And ironically, the little kid that found the body part was playing the hokey pokey and won. You put your right arm in, and you take your right arm out, you put your left leg in, you shake it all about, you know. So that's
investigators
crazy.
are going to have a hard time in that case together piece by piece.
This story has a lot of moving parts. A lot. So let's sever the. Go ahead, Mom. Your turn to stand up for the news.
Okay, a mom in Texas is arrested after mixing lemon and salt in a Gatorade drink and instructing her son to give that drink to his bully, who was always stealing the son's, like, he was shaking him down for like lunch money and his Gatorade. So the mom concocted this Gatorade. The bully was then hospitalized for nausea, and Texas charged the mother with child abuse. My question was it really child abuse or good parenting? I bet that bully kid never took anyone else's Gatorade.
Yeah, right.
What'd she put in it?
It was just lemon.
LSD and.
No, it was just lemon and salt.
Oh,
but I guess it was so much it made him sick, and then.
I would say he's from Texas. That's probably the best thing in his diet.
Probably safer than the tap water.
Even the kids in Texas are sissies nowadays.
But he was always stealing the son's Gatorade. So she's like, okay, you can steal it this time. And she made it gross and salty.
That mom is a vigilante.
She put the Gatorade.
She's a hero.
She's a hero.
Yeah, I think she's a hero.
Right?
So in a past life, before I moved to Florida, I was a pipeliner in Pennsylvania. And when you're out there, you cannot, because we're rated and judged by the EPA. Mm-hmm. So unless you had a portage on, you had to find whatever in your trucks to urinate in.
Oh, gosh.
And I had a coworker of mine that we named Beefcake because he was a massive dude. Mm-hmm. and he peed in a Gatorade bottle, and one of our guys, I will call him Stutters, drank the Gatorade bottle. So
man.
I think I would take the Texas Bully punch over what that was.
Wait a minute.
Some Trailer Park Boys stuff going
Number
on.
one, you're a massive dude calling somebody else a massive dude. How massive is that dude?
No.
The guy was 6'8".
I was gonna say.
Oh, unbelievable.
I was gonna say you have a coworker named Beefcake. You're good at laying pipe. Are you sure you're not a phone sex operator?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's sounding a little
Adult
suspicious
film
here.
industry, that's what we call it.
You know, forget
Called in
corrections.
just now. He wants your number.
There's a field you could make a lot of money in, my friend.
I go by Thor. Shout out Gene by Gene for that reference.
All right, so it's your turn. Go ahead. Stand up for the news, bud.
All right, we're going to go Florida, and this actually happened this morning. Police in Key West booked Trey Jacob Delaney, 28, of Wichita, Kansas, at 4:30 this morning for drunk and disorderly in a Key West, outside of a Key West bar at Sloppy Joe's, for aggressively masturbating in front of the staff when he was not allowed in. When the police arrived to the scene, he ended up throwing a high kick at a police officer making contact. So we call that the old Florida hello, and I'm really proud of him for catching on super quick.
He was a sloppy and Sloppy Joe.
The part that impressed me the most is he was handcuffed when he threw the high kick, and he said, "Look, Ma, no hands before you threw it."
That's a real definition of sweet chin music.
I didn't know Jim was in the Keys this past week.
Captain Jim.
I could do a high kick if you gave me a stepladder. On Tuesday, the United Nations top official overseeing relief for Palestinians condemned Israel for blocking a shipment of aid for including medical scissors because it says the scissors could be used as weapons. In addition to blocking the import of scissors to Gaza, Israel has also prevented the import of shipments containing rocks and paper. And that's no fair. Without rocks, paper, and scissors, how else are Gazans supposed to break a tie when they play Where in the World is Captain Jim Seaman?
Where in the world is Captain Jim Seaman?
I guess they have bigger problems right now.
Yeah, do a reference joke to his own segment later.
I know. That's
So fun.
pretty egotistical of you
Good
to
job,
say.
man.
You know? Let's see. Scientists have recently discovered the largest dinosaur ever. It came in weighing at 65 tons. The dinosaur was located in a Golden Corral in Egg Harbor, New Jersey. His name was John.
A Florida man shoots his roommate 10 times this past week over an argument about cats, his cats, I guess. He said, "I'm going to kill you." He called her the B word. That's what he was quoted when he actually eventually allowed her, the victim, to call 911 for herself for help. This is weird. He shoots her 10 times, then lets her call 911.
Called chivalry.
He said, I'll let you
Very generous.
I'll let you call 911 as long as, but just don't call Bob Barker, you know, or the SPCA. I can totally relate to the guy, the shooter, you know, in this conflict because that musical is horrible, you know.
Oh, cats?
The victim was shot once in the finger and 9 times in the legs. Yeah, because I guess she won't be landing on her feet. All right, thanks for laughing.
Well, she has 9 lives. She should be fine. You know?
All right, Robin.
Pop star Olivia Rodrigo handed out free contraception pills at her St. Louis concert. Now, call me old-fashioned, but when I was a teen, we ingested pills before we went into a concert where unprotected sex was encouraged.
Times have changed.
Those are the good old days.
Anthony,
All right.
fire when ready.
Today, JR Motorsports announced a sponsorship extension with Hellman's Mayonnaise. That is the whitest thing I've ever said in my life. As well as with the extension news, owner of JR Motorsports, Dale Earnhardt Jr. announced that in September he'll be coming back for one more race on the Xfinity Series in September to race at Bristol Motor Speedway. When asked what's up with the comeback, he said he just hasn't broken through the walls his dad has yet.
That joke is so white, you just gave Captain Jim an erection. Hey,
Stay away from Sloppy Joe.
That bar is all mine.
It's first one this season, right?
Yeah.
All right, bud. Good for you.
On Wednesday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed into law a statewide ban against homeless people sleeping or camping in public. In a statement he made in Miami, DeSantis said, quote, No longer will we have to endure being reminded about the stark disparity in wealth in our state by having to look at homeless women and children and veterans sleeping in public places. Instead, they will have to spend some of the millions of dollars they have stashed in their shopping carts and book a luxury penthouse to sleep in. In addition to existing prohibitions against sleeping on private property, the new law forbidding sleeping on public property will mean that homeless people can no longer legally exist in the state of Florida. Great, problem solved. Hey, where did Mandy go? Mandy, I hear you. I can't see you.
So, like, vets too, though?
It's just like the Thanos snap and Mandy's gone.
Who do you think homeless people are? Mostly vets.
The vets? How are they going to operate on cats and dogs and stuff if they're...
I don't know how they do it. I mean, you go into the office,
vets
they look
operate
so
on homeless
refreshed. I
animals?
mean, I guess a cup of coffee and, they're good to go on Fido.
At least I'll be calling in next week. From somewhere out of Florida.
Coming from Georgia.
There's now no way to make my girlfriend feel like unwanted when she goes into a 7-Eleven after dark anymore.
Who's going to make your life feel better?
Who's going to make you feel attractive?
Down your nose at Jim.
Okay, this week in California, a man used a fake gun to rob a real gun store. This is true. And the owner of the store was going to fight back until he noticed that the robber was holding a Nerf Elite 2.0 commando blaster and decided to back down.
It's Nerf or nothing.
All right, so we had the homeless joke right there.
So, like, who are you not going to give your loose change to, Jim? Because the homeless people are all gone.
Where are you going to draw your white guilt from?
I see we've got like a premise here. We're going to keep beating to death all night.
All right. In Jacksonville this week, 3 people were shot and 1 is dead after a deadly shooting at the Jacksonville beach. And the shooter is still at large. Well, we know it wasn't Jeff Waite, however, because he claims to be a medium 2X. There you go, Jeff. Shout out
The birthing him.
to being at medium, not at large, medium 2X.
Medium 2X.
I thought that was a cute joke. But
I thought it was silly. Who has
All
a
right.
2X medium?
What are you, a 3X medium now?
Oh, man, I wish.
Reddit had its initial public offering as a stock this week. It opened with a $34 share. Now, many investors wondered why it debuted at such a high price, so they ironically went to Reddit to find their answer.
Folks, there are other websites besides Reddit.
Anytime I want to Google the truth, I just put Reddit after my question.
I also call Reddit free OnlyFans.
I can't do Reddit because I don't think you can do Reddit if you're illiterate, right?
Hasn't read it.
And when I Googled it, I actually spelled it the way it's spelled.
I think they have an alternative website for that. It's called Picture It.
Seen it.
There's also Speak It for those who can't see.
Oh, man.
Neuralink, Elon Musk's neural technology company, revealed during a live stream on Wednesday that its first human patient to have received a brain chip implant is a 29-year-old man who became a quadriplegic after a serious driving accident about 8 years ago. The patient, Nolan Arbaugh, I'm not a name specialist, I apologize, said during the stream, which was cast on Musk's social media company X, that the chip was not perfect, but it had already added many improvements to his life, giving him the ability to play video games for hours on end without having to rely on his family members. Mm-hmm. So Neuralink is now officially listed as a vegetable steamer.
Hang on.
I know what I'm doing this week.
Joke of the day whistle. Oh,
That's
man.
my mom.
Attorneys for former President Donald Trump wrote in a court filing on Monday that he is unable to secure a bond to appeal the $464 million New York civil fraud judgment against him, saying he has, quote, insurmountable difficulties in obtaining an appeal bond for the full amount. New York Attorney General Letitia James has said that she will seek to seize some of Trump's assets if he's unable to pay the judgment and would spare him no mercy, telling Stand Up for News, quote, it looks like the former president is going to have to hold the biggest bake sale in history. Trump responded at a rally the next day, greatest cupcakes ever.
They're nice and orange. All right, let's see. According to a new study, talking after sex is just as important as sex itself, except that sex makes them come and me talking usually makes them leave. All
Arriving and leaving.
Arriving and leaving.
It's a coming and go gas station all on your bed.
This is our final show, you guys. Hey, where's Matt? Who's this guy, by the way? What's your name? Juan?
Juan. We have another Spanish person. Okay. Thank you. Diversity hire.
Thought this episode had a little bit more spice to it.
You remember that
Gracias,
comedian?
señor.
Yeah, it makes sense because there's only one of you. When we had Per here, that one guy from Sweden, I was like, when I met you, I thought there was going to be two of you, bud. You ever met Per?
Can I ask where you were on April 26, 1989? Are you my father? Or?
Are you a Puerto Rican guy? You're not Puerto Rican?
Colombian.
Oh, he's Colombian.
Bogota?
You're not a...
Medellin.
Hey, Medellin. That's
not
where all
your
the
dad.
drugs come from.
Gracias, Papi. Gracias.
Nice big Colombian accent, Manny.
Well, welcome. We're glad that you're here. I just wanted, nobody told me your name. I was like, we got to find out our producer's name. You know, thank you for being here and taking care of us today. Sitting in for Matt, or you permanent?
Permanent.
Oh, good.
Hey.
Welcome to the
That
Stand Up
means
for
he's
News
the
crew,
one and
basically.
only producer for the show moving forward.
You're the only one for us.
All right. Well, homeless man was shackled and thrown into a police wagon back in January.
All right, guys, enough, okay?
Listen to the story.
There's
There's more than, you're not the only homeless guy out there. Okay? Okay? Don't flatter yourself. Okay? This homeless man was arrested back in January. You had a home then, so chill out. Okay? He's just currently been recently homeless. So he was thrown into a police paddy wagon in St. Pete. And then when they drove around, there's no buckle. They didn't buckle him in or anything. They found him sleeping on the ground. And that's why we don't let him do that no more, right? DeSantis' aide, Captain Jim, we don't let him do that no more. We got rid of that problem. But he was injured so badly in the back of the paddy wagon from being tossed around while they were driving. They had to amputate both of his legs, and he is now also paralyzed and in a nursing home in Pennsylvania, not the college, the state of Pennsylvania, seeking restitution from the St. Pete police and the city after the incident which occurred, due to the statute of limitations, though. He may not be able to see this case moving anywhere anytime soon at all. He might need a wheelchair. Yeah, this case might need a wheelchair, it says. But seriously, you guys, he's probably going to lose the case in the first place since he doesn't have a leg to stand on, which totally cripples his defense.
Also, there is footage of the whole thing, so he might have a leg up in court.
Only judge is like, stand, or the weight lift. He's like, everybody stand for. Oh, yeah, never mind. He's like,
Sir,
that's why we're here.
Contempt of court.
Go ahead, Robin. Let's keep moving.
So an English women's soccer league delayed a game last week because each team was wearing matching socks. So the Arsenal woman had to purchase black socks, and that caused the 30-minute delay in the game. I guess they really put the sock in soccer.
Proving once again that if two women show up anywhere wearing the same clothes, everything comes to a halt until one of them changes. That's such an insensitive joke, Manny. Why'd you make me?
Yeah, I know. Robin, were you up till 4 a.m. thinking of that one? Or?
I wasn't just like writing it down last minute.
What the?
We'll take you guys up to my town, Trashco County, where Pasco County Sheriff's deputies shot and killed a man Saturday afternoon in Hudson, Florida, after resisting arrest and driving off with a deputy inside of his vehicle.
Wow.
When asked about the incident, Pasco County Sheriff Chris Noco responded saying, "Well, Pasco County."
What do you want?
It'll be strange if a deputy was driving a suspect around. That's all.
At least they can find their suspect due to the video that was taken at Ordinance 1 of his penis.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, it's a really methed up situation. And we have a severe issue with mosquitoes up there. So.
All right, Captain Jim.
Earlier this month, during his State of the Union speech, President Biden said that he is directing the U.S. military to build a pier along the waterfront of the Gaza Strip to help expedite the arrival and distribution of desperately needed food and medical supplies in the besieged enclave. Biden says the pier will be modeled after St. Pete's own pier and will feature an ice cream stand, splash pad, and a marine sciences center where kids can pet a stingray. Critics say that offering starving Palestinians the same crap that bores Floridians to death does not qualify as providing aid.
Sometimes I'm ashamed to call you my peer, bud. All right, Manny Avila.
Okay, safety experts now say more and more car crashes are being caused by GPS devices.
Huh?
So, in an effort to correct this, Google is going to be switching this GPS to a man's voice.
It'll definitely save you on tire repair, guys.
Oh my goodness. Let's do this here. An
Okay.
intoxicated parents from Georgia passed out drunk on a beach in Florida faced child neglect charges as their 5-year-old and 7-year-old children were nowhere to be near the beach or the ocean when the police arrived and woke up the parents that were completely wasted, I guess. And when they questioned him, the father woke up and the cop said, "Where's your kids?" He pointed at the ocean like they were in the ocean. They couldn't find them anywhere. The children were later found at the hotel about a half a mile away in the swimming pool swimming. I don't know what's more annoying, neglectful parents or unattended children running around the pool. No running in the pool. You know, the children refused to exit the pool area until they finished their game of Marco Polo. Sadly, on account that they never finished the game because the parents named their kids Marco and Polo.
I've already come.
You guys shouldn't laugh at that.
You know, James,
Manny?
You know,
That
James,
was in my butt. He puts it in his mouth anyway. Thank you.
we sailors run into this problem all the
Black
time. You know, when we're kids. So much so we have a sea shanty for it. We call it "What Do We Do with the Drunken Parents? What do we do with the drunken parents? What do we do with the drunken parents? Passed out in Daytona. Drag them off the beach, put them in the pokey, drag them." That shanty goes on until we reach the Windward Islands.
I mean, the only difference is when he was a kid. When Jim was a kid, his parents neglected him on purpose. You know, like, they're trying.
And he still grew up
Dad, I'm not
privileged.
invisible.
To be fair,
I'm not invisible anymore.
if there's one place in the world where you're going to go on vacation and forget that you have coitus trophies, Daytona Beach.
Jim, you're so white, you're almost invisible. So yeah. Don't snort, Jim, Manny. Does that count as your joke since you sang a song?
A lot worse.
No.
All right, go ahead, Mom.
Jennifer Lopez cancels her August concert dates in Tampa. No explanation was given. J-Lo, more like J blows off her responsibilities.
Oh my God.
That's a J-Lo blow, Mom.
Oh, J-Lo blow.
I thought J-O was something else. Oh, J-Lo. Okay. Russian President Vladimir Putin extended his reign over Russia in a landslide election whose outcome was never in doubt Monday. This is Vladimir Putin's 5th term, receiving 87% of the vote. In his victory speech, Putin thanked his supporters, and to those who voted against him, he outlined the new theme nights in the Gulag. Taco Tuesdays, Yoga Wednesdays, manual labor in the mine Mondays.
Oh man! Here in back in America, in Washington, in Washington State, a group of cyclists helped one of their friends escape the jaws of a cougar on a trail northeast of Seattle, and they said they fought the cat and pinned it down. According to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, a woman who was attacked sustained neck and face injuries and was treated at a hospital and released following the February 17th incident. Meanwhile, last night at Dock and Boot Saloon in Largo, Florida, stand-up producers own Matt James and Captain Jim saved their co-host Manny Avila from the grasp of a drunk 58-year-old cougar visiting from Columbus, Ohio, who attempted to drag the comic back to her sister's nearby apartment. Captain Jim evacuated Manny to his car as James distracted the cougar with news jokes about people getting shot. Florida wildlife officials said in the state to halt the duo's actions selfless and heroic, while Manny Avila said, "No, let me go. She still has most of her teeth."
I mean, to be fair to Manny, you know, he's trying to curb his homelessness problem. He wanted to be a homosexual for a night.
That's not his biggest problem.
She had a carpet and Wi-Fi, Jim.
That's not the kind of
Let her
cat
go.
lady I told you to look for. I said look for a cat lady, not a cougar lady. But he's like, good claws on that one.
All right, guys. Well, you guys thought my last jokes were bad. It's only going to get worse. Let's see here. It's been reported that Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak makes about $12 million a year. And then due to inflation, that's approximately enough to buy 6 vowels. That was okay.
Pat, say Jack.
See, you set the bar really low at first, and then
Say Jack.
Back in my day, we could buy
Buy some
consonants with
vowels.
that.
All right, now it's time for curveballs. I wrote a curveball for everybody. So I say the setup and you try to improv a punchline. This one I wrote, it says, it's for you, Roan. Right there. All right. Bodies pile up in the streets of Haiti's capital after 12 were murdered in one night as gangs continue. They just continue ravaging and killing on a daily basis down there in the capital of Haiti.
Sounds like the world's largest barbecue in Texas every year they have.
Oh, I don't know if that was a racist joke or
The guy's name's Barbecue.
I was like thinking maybe they should give them some of that stuff that
Gatorade.
chills you out,
Yeah, you really throw some
AAT,
softballs
something like
in
that.
this curveball segment.
All right. This one says it's for Captain Jim Marvin. He's a real sea captain. You guys ready? 6 former Mississippi police, which were white, like you, Jim, they're being sentenced after the torture of 2 black men, including severe beatings and the raping of one of the men with a sex toy at the scene. Go ahead, Jim.
The officers were formerly employed in Haiti.
I wrote this. I said, I hope the sentencing had a lot of exclamation marks. Get it? It's a sentence. Okay. Now this one says it's for Manny Avila.
Okay, great.
A gay man is shot to death in a dog park by another dog owner last month in Tampa, who faces murder charges after claiming self-defense in the shooting. Several previous interactions between them were claimed by witnesses, stating that the man harassed the victim with gay bashing and slurs many, many times at the park. Were you there? Because you know, it's might be the park. You're digging through the garbage in. Go ahead, bud.
Well, I would say that was a rough week for that guy. In Haiti, they have a slogan that it's a dog-eat-dog world.
This one's just for Robin. All right. You remember when we talked about that LGBTQ student that died? Next, Benedict, she died a day after her brutal beatdown by bullies in the middle school bathroom. The autopsy reveals the cause of death was suicide. Go ahead, Robin.
Your favorite segment.
Oh, my favorite subject. I like how Manny says tortured children. Manny, sorry. James says
That's
tortured
me.
children for me. The ironic thing was she didn't know anyone named Sue and suicide. And
She was such a cute kid, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Boy or girl, I don't know.
Not very easy for a boy who becomes Sue.
Well, there's an old Haitian saying that says, beware of when you go in the bathroom.
Maybe she left the toilet seat up and they didn't believe it was a girl.
You asked me, she should have used a Gatorade bottle.
All right, here's a curveball for me. A boyfriend of the top seed Miami Open tennis player jumps to his death in Miami at a Florida hotel balcony. This is how much I enjoy watching tennis as well, especially women's tennis. His last words were, you can't grunt like that on the court, but you can't grunt like that in the bedroom. And when the chicks hit the ball, they're like, ah! Yeah, that's all I got for curveballs. All right. Now we're going to do a segment. Hey, Anthony, have you ever seen a show called Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Well, we do one. And it's called Where in the World is Captain Jim Seaman? And we like to sing it. So ready? Where in the world is Captain Jim Seaman? It's a little game show segment he's going to explain to us. Go ahead, Captain Jim.
Thank you, James. All right,
welcome.
Anthony, if you haven't played this game before, it is our geographic news quiz. I give you a news event, and you guess where in the world it happened. And, this is based upon reports that I'm getting from my seamen. Now, it's not what you're thinking. I'm talking about the professional sailors who sail with me around the world, not that other thing that might be on your
Why would
mind.
you think us?
I don't know. I mean, there's been some
These are
confusion.
The other kind can
These
also
are
be
guests.
professional.
Apparently, down in Key West, there was a little issue with that. So, I just want to make that clear. At the end, the winner will receive an amazing prize, the WTAN prize chest. Okay, is everybody ready?
Okay.
Wait, let me look at your.
No, get away from me.
Look at your hand.
There's my prize chest right here, you guys.
Question 1. My seamen are in Southeast Asia, and tell me the Prime Minister has ordered a ban on musical horns in vehicles in this country. Are my seamen in A, Thailand, B, Vietnam, or C, Cambodia? James?
C.
All right. Robin?
I'm going to say Vietnam.
All right. Anthony?
I just saw the headline for this news story and didn't pay attention to the country, so I'm going to say A.
I'm going to say
All right.
Cambodia. Whatever answer, Cambodia.
I said
Manny.
C because it's half of the men that you got. Go ahead. He said C too.
Cambodia.
All right. My seamen are in C, Cambodia. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Main has ordered a ban on musical horns after videos posted on social media showed people dancing on roads and roadsides as passing trucks blasted rhythmic little tunes. There remains just one tune that Hun Main still personally proves to be played by truck horns. Hit it! No, me so horny. No, me no horny. No, me no horny. Me hit you long time.
In my defense, of course, I was going to think sailors were in Thailand.
Also, yeah.
Sailors are
There's still a lot
everywhere.
of whistles there, bud.
Also, Captain Jim looks like he takes a lot of trips to Thailand.
You've got these lovely young ladies there who they're really good at fixing cars. I don't know how they do it. They love sports.
See Jim wear a tie before.
But I want to say that feels like
his
an
neck.
attack on the Spanish people because the only rhythmic car horns I ever heard was La cucaracha, la cucaracha, ya no puede caminar.
There's words to that.
What's a non-musical horn? Like move.
All right, second question.
Non-musical horn.
We've got a tie between
Black Eyed Peas music.
James and Manny. Second
Yeah.
question. My seamen are in the Mediterranean and tell me that a police officer on patrol duty who was allegedly using his service car to smuggle marijuana was arrested on drug charges in this country.
His
Are my
cervix?
seamen in service?
Oh, I thought you said cervix. I'm like, what? This doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh, that would be like a really sexy ambulance.
All right.
Anyway, he was using his patrol car to smuggle marijuana. Are my seamen in A, Greece, B, Italy, or C, Croatia? James.
It sounds kind of greasy to
I
me,
agree
so
with
I'm
that.
going with B.
I've got a group. Oh, you want to?
It be greasy. Grease.
You want Greece? Okay,
Did I get the wrong
Robin?
I'll
letter?
take Croatia.
okay,
For 100.
For 100.
Anthony?
I'll also take Croatia.
okay. And Manny.
I would say Italy would be different, but I feel like that's a greasy situation. We want Greece.
Greasy.
All right, my seamen are in A, Greece. Good going, guys.
What's up?
A police officer on patrol duty in northwestern Greece was arrested on drug charges Friday for allegedly using his service car to smuggle marijuana. The suspect was detained following a road chase, and a search of the car uncovered 225 pounds of marijuana. The officer denied he was transporting dope and saying he was transporting dope. He then broke a plate and sexually harassed a female officer. How very Greek of him. All right, so here's so we got James and Manny tied at 2. Here's the big
Can they even catch up?
tiebreaker.
No, it's just all right. Tiebreaker. Yeah.
I only have 5 minutes because everything
All right,
else I do
well, hurry
runs so long.
All
All right,
take it forever.
my seamen are on the Florida Sun Coast and report that a beached sperm whale has died after struggling off a sandbar it was beached over the weekend near this beach city. Lots of beaches in that sentence.
What kind of whale was it?
It was a sperm whale. Are my seamen in A, Fort Myers, B, Venice, or C, St. Pete Beach? James?
A sperm whale. Sperm
That's a lot of
whale.
Robin, which beach did this take place at?
Venice?
Venice.
Okay, Anthony, what would you say?
I feel like there'd be a lot of sperm whales in Venice.
I feel like it's Venice and Menace too, but I'm going to be different. I'm going to say whatever A was.
All right, A was Fort Myers.
Oh, man.
Okay, my seamen are, in fact, in B, Venice.
I knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it.
I win.
The beach sperm whale was found dead last Monday morning after struggling on a sandbar over the weekend near Venice. The Florida wildlife officials say that health issues may have led to the whale stranding and that high winds and surf prevented them from moving the whale to safety. Stanford News' own Mac James spoke to marine scientists who said the incident proves a long-held theory that when sperm whales die, they are dying in waves.
That's my joke.
Which is what makes it so funny. Awesome. Yeah, we've got with 3 in a
You're
row.
welcome.
Our own Mac James is the winner of this week's Stand Up for News TED Talk Radio Prize, which is a decorative picnic napkin.
Oh, that's
Oh, it's got shells
It's
on
got
it.
shels and stars and
starfish.
sailboats.
Also has some of Captain Jim semen on the napkin. So you get that also.
but no beach whales.
Does it taste like pineapple?
It must be where there's
You've been
salt
eating
water.
All right, thank you for playing this week's episode of Where in the World is Captain Jim Seaman?
Sperm whale. All right, that was fun. So, I didn't bring any history material. Mom,
Redefine
you do history laughs from the past. Fire away, Robin Savage.
Okay, this day in history, let's see, it was last week, 3/14/1900, though. U.S. currency goes on the gold standard after Congress passes the Currency Act. Cut to March 14th, 2004, where we pay Bitcoin based on nothing and watch the price fluctuate, which is also based on nothing.
A bunch of nothing.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Anthony, you have history material for
I
us?
do.
Laughs from the past.
On this day in 1980, President Jimmy Carter announced that the United States was boycotting the Summer Olympics in Moscow to protest the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, stating, "We're the only nation that's allowed to shed blood for oil."
All right.
All right. This week in history, in 1984, a Soviet submarine crashes into the USS Kitty Hawk off the coast of Japan. U.S. President Ronald Reagan accused the Soviet Union of getting their submarine in his aircraft carrier, while Soviet Premier Dmitry Ustinov accused the U.S. of getting their aircraft carrier in his submarine. Both countries then pursued a weapons program to develop an aircraft carrier that could operate underwater. It's what bankrupted the Soviet Union.
I actually felt like an actual history lesson here. You said,
I almost forgot there was a joke there.
All right, this is for James here, but this is actually true. Today in history, March 21st, 1962, weighing an adorable 89 pounds and 10 ounces, Rosie O'Donnell was born. Yes!
Got him.
Got him. Let's go.
Do I need to say the thing?
I don't know if you want to.
That's it?
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So, like Rosie O'Donnell last year came out and told everybody that she's a real life psychic. Did you hear about that?
She did?
Did you hear about that? Yeah. But trust me, you guys, she's no medium. Thank you for laughing. All right,
Is that a
Robin,
car alarm?
history. Let's continue with history.
That's Rosie O'Donnell's mating call.
No wonder that whale beached itself.
Another history joke.
I got another history too.
Go for it.
All right. In 2019, a man claiming to be Adolf Hitler's last living relative, Romana Luca Hitler, 69, who was living in the town of Gorlitz in eastern Germany, was convicted of pedophilia after being found performing sexual acts on a 13-year-old girl.
Oh.
6 million Jews, and this is what it took to bring shame to the Hitler name.
All right, well,
Oh, my goodness.
On a high note here.
I got one more history. In 1906, Ohio passes a law that prohibits hazing by fraternities. Later the same semester, the Ohio legislature reverses the law after Faber College's Delta Tau Chi fraternity caused chaos at the town parade and asked Dean Wormer if he could see his way clear to giving them just one more chance. That's weird. I thought Faber was in Oregon.
All right. Well, I guess that moves us right into the weather. All right, Robin, are you the weather lady today? You got some weather for us?
Sure.
Fire away.
Meghan Markle, Prince Harry's wife, took to Instagram to tease her new brand that she will sell jams, cookbooks, and cutlery. Her slogan is, "Buy my products before I find out whether I'm going to mysteriously vanish next." Because Kate, we don't know where.
She's been missing, guys. I don't know where she is.
Anthony, weather.
I'm going to be honest with you. I just thought you misspelled weather when you sent me the text from what this was.
That's what I told you in person. It's not about the outdoors, Mother Nature stuff. It's about whether or not something.
Well, how do you explain all the other misspelled words in that sentence, in that message?
That's the only one I spelled right.
So should I just shoot with a joke about actual weather then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Captain Jim. I'm calling it because he always does that. He did it. Go ahead.
All right.
I got one too when you're done.
A freak spring snowstorm is expected to wreak havoc across the Midwest this weekend. This is real, dangerous, and not to be confused with the spring snowstorms that occur in Florida with spring breakers this time of year.
Didn't even have the word weather in it. Son of a gun.
But me and Manny really appreciate that joke.
I liked it too.
Got you, brother.
Gotta do it.
It's
Gotta
okay.
do it.
Okay, go ahead. You got weather, or is it my turn to tell the weather?
Late last month.
Hurry up. We're running out.
Late last month, Merriam-Webster dictionary publisher shared the news on Instagram that it's okay to end a sentence with a preposition. I'm not sure whether that's really proper grammar, but I'm very happy because ending a sentence with a preposition is something for years I've been doing.
And I just got to say, if Ron DeSantis gets reelected, I don't know whether or not I'm going to be able to stay in Florida.
All right, I'm Mac James, your weatherman. And the other day, my friend said that she can't swallow her pride on account that she's a spitter. Now I'm not sure whether I can spit my pride on account I'm a swallower. How do you swallow the pride anyway? It's not something that's physically able to
Manny will show
swallow.
you.
That's true. His name was not Pride, I told you.
It was actually June, and it was Pride
It was
Month.
on Pride Month. His name was Eric.
His
He
name was,
swallowed the
his
whole
name was
month.
Proud Eric, not Pride Eric.
Butt plugs after the plugs.
He ate a whole bunch of lions. What? Yeah, we've covered everything now. Everything but plugs. Shall we cover some butt plugs? Go ahead, Manny.
All right, so this Saturday I'm going to be featuring at Tap This Bar. That's the actual name of the place. It's over Newport Richie, 7 o'clock p.m. It's going to be an open mic afterwards. That's your neck of the woods, kind of, right? Or no?
I'm going to plead the fifth on this.
Manny, what's the address?
Says thank you for asking, Captain. It's 10730 US 19 North in Newport Richie. It's 10730 US 19 North. Starts at 7 o'clock p.m. And yeah, man, you can come see Captain Seaman.
I'll have to send them with you. I'll be out on the water that
Let's
weekend.
let our guests do a butt plug. You got a butt plug to plug?
Oh, I know I was going to tell you when I had it in right now, but thanks for blowing that up.
We've covered everything but plugs. Now we're plugging stuff.
Speaking of where I got my start, this Wednesday, I don't know if this is still going on because I haven't gotten 100% confident. No, I'm going to tell it anyways.
Plug it.
I'm going to be featuring at Ordnance One on the Scuba's Comedy Day.
Hey,
you go.
let's go. Let's go.
Back to where it all began.
Yes, let's go. Comes full circle.
And then we're going to butt plug Knocking Boots a week from yesterday. Every other Wednesday, we're going to have another comedy show. Zobo69 will be the feature. He's super funny. Then we got a butt plug at Twisted Tiki. We can plug that next week, but it's the 29th. Captain Jim's hosting. Rick Stupensky headlining. Free show, Twisted Tiki. That place is always packed. Mom, you got a plug? Jim's just biting her chomp. That's why I skipped him.
I'll give it.
I want to do mine.
I'll give it to Jim.
All right.
I just wanted to say that Nakaboose now has a convenience store attached to the bar. So, anything that you might need.
It's like a dream come true. Anywhere where I can get Grand Marnier and energy drinks and Black and Milds 10 feet from a stage and a microphone is heaven to me, you guys.
It's paradise.
Definitely. All right, well, Mom, you want to butt plug something?
I am going to be at a Moose Lodge show in Hernando County, which I think is a private show. However, I might pop by Manny's show if it's going to be open mic afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
If it's Hernando, I think
awesome.
I'd probably go past Newport Richie. So, yeah.
And if you like Anthony Roan, he will be on my podcast on in a few weeks on April 14th.
Sweet.
With Manny Gassat. You can't say that. We're going to have two Spanish people, one white guy trying to balance it out. It should be.
He just always told me to say gas it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gassat. I try to make it a little.
So next week, we're going to have Jacoby English. Right? We talked to him. He's going to be here next week as our guest.
Oh, good.
And,
Excellent.
we always like to. Does anybody have any more material they want to tell? We have the
I do have one weather joke, actually.
quick one.
Like a real whether or not.
Go ahead, and then we'll do our song.
30 seconds.
The executive director of the Bill and Hillary Clinton National Airport in Little Rock, Arkansas, I am butchering this, was shot Tuesday as federal agents arrived at his home to serve a search warrant. He was shot by the ATF, and when Hillary Clinton was asked about the situation, she said, "We were so close to adding another to the list. My condolences about his future suicide. I just couldn't figure out whether or not to do it with firearms or hanging."
Well, I heard he was hung.
Anything on a peaceful note there?
All right. Well, now we sing our song. It goes like this. Stand up for news. Stand up for news. We stand up for you.
FM 106.1,
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A Boston-based federal appeals court orders a trial judge to assess the seating of 2 jurors in Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev's 2015 trial. CBS News legal contributor